Afternoon all, I'm with my good friend Paul Georgiou today. I had a bit of a nightmare game last night, which I think I need to show you just to get out of my system if anything else, and you might find some instructive points from it. The video, the title, I think it's going to be like something like Chicken Kebab Disaster. The reason I'm giving it the title is, unfortunately, well, I blame the chicken kebab more than anything actually, because I had a large chicken kebab shortly before this game, and when I drove, it was an away match to Hemel Hempstead. I was actually feeling remarkably tired, as though I was having trouble sort of remaining awake during this game. By the way, hi there, Paul. So you've seen this horrible game, but do you think there's any instructive points?
There's instructive points in most games, aren't there?
Yeah.
If you lose, why did you lose? It's a question you have to ask yourself.
And do you think it's good that I post my losses, even though they're horrendous sometimes, on the channel?
But you can learn from your losses, can't you?
Yeah, yeah.
You're not just, aren't I brilliant, look at my fantastic win. Everybody loses sometimes, so
yeah.
You just have a look at your losses and
actually, I was looking at this video earlier, Kasparov's making mistakes in chess, and he also emphasises looking at even his wins. He stayed at the top of the game for a number of years, was it 20 years? And he was saying he looks at his wins as well, because people could come back with innovations. He says there's inaccuracies in every game.
Well, Kasparov says he goes through all his games with a fine-tooth comb, like he did in his My Predecessors series.
Yeah.
And again, in his most recent book, he's looked at some of the games from there, again, with a computer for the second time, and found corrections.
Oh, right.
He's just, trying to find the truth in every game.
Oh, the truth. So it's not to do with being beyond reproach from readers with engines. It's really to literally find the truth.
Yes.
Of positions.
He wants to know, did I play the best move every time? Even though he's retired, he wants to find the truth in the position. Yeah,
I was a bit critical, as I thought there were too much computer analysis, but that's what it's about, really, isn't it? Finding the truth. So, but even if you took a Romantic era game, you expect them to play gambits and unsound stuff, because it's the Romantic era. That was kind of a cultural kind of objection, that games have to be taken in context as well, though, don't they?
At Kasparov's level, though, he's been a much higher level than Morphy, etc. So and he's got the computers, so he uses them to try and find the ultimate way to play each position. So you've got the volumes of the Great Priestesses, or
yes. You think they're quite good, yeah?
They are pretty good. Maybe, apart from the bit where he misses a mate in one, they are pretty good.
All right, I think maybe I should go through my volumes. I do have them as well. So anyway, this was a terribly inaccurate game. And it started off with my pet system. My opponent, I was white against Matthew Simmons, which you played before as a junior.
I played him a long time ago, if it's the same person, in the 1980s.
Yeah. So he plays Sicilian, I play knight c3, and he plays e6, which I've had before. I think it's actually a good equalising plan for black, especially the way I'm playing this. Well, I didn't play f4, bishop c4. I'm not sure they're particularly good here. I don't think bishop c4 is very good here, is it?
You still play f4.
I can still play f4, but it looks as though d5 is going to just be...
Well, then bishop b5 check is quite annoying.
Yeah? Right.
Yes.
Have you had this as white?
No, so I don't really play this very much. But, I mean, bishop b5 is quite an irritating move. Yeah. Because you can double black's pawns if he plays knight c6.
Yeah, I've had that in another game. You've seen the other game I had in that, didn't you? I'm not sure, you might have done. But that was...
And there is the Queen e2 trick. If bishop d7, now Queen e2 is rather annoying.
Queen e2?
Yes.
With d4?
Well, I mean, then you can play knight d1 and reroute. Swap off the bishops first, maybe.
Right. Okay, that's how I should have played it anyway. So I don't think this was good though. ED here. I've just liberated this bishop basically, and although I won a game in this is a Kasparov's thing. It was inaccurate. This ED is inaccurate. It's just giving bishop scope. I think activity. I think in chess games.com, I think they usually people just castle, and if d4 you can just take double the pawns and then play here. I think this is okay for white.
I prefer white here. Definitely.
Because you can reroute to g3 this night.
Yeah,
you can play d3 and block these pawns.
Yeah, fix the pawns.
Fix the pawns. I should have used this play. I don't know what got into me to play ED. I can only blame the chicken kebab, as I say. So I've freed his game. So the first blunder, I think, starts here, ED.
I'd probably just take on c6 myself in that position.
And also, I mean, this d4 control is quite good, potentially, if I did allow a knight now. After playing check... I play knight e5 because I'm vaguely remembering this short sort of miniature game between Adams and Hennigan, where I thought Adams did a quick castles and some sort of trick with knight takes f7, and it was like 1-0. I was trying to remember that during this game, which was a bad idea as well. So my idea was just castle and rook e1 with a cheapo in mind, which isn't the best strategically. But I'm also going to miss a key threat soon, a very basic threat. Yeah. I'm not really particularly proud of this game
what
so far.
F4 in that position? Is that not
in this position? It would then look like one of my other games. F4.
Yes.
Yeah.
What does black do?
A6 still.
Well, A6 is going to lose a piece to bishop takes C6. Well, maybe not a piece. If knight takes, then we just take it and play F5.
Oh, blimey! I see the idea of F5. Blimey, F4. F4 here. Let's just stick an engine on for that. F4. No, I never really saw that possibility. Amazing. Oh, G6 is the engine move. So A6 is not particularly good at all. As you say, this would be a disaster.
So you have to take with the pawn, which is rather slow.
Yeah. Brilliant idea, F4. Okay, that's something to bear in mind for the future anyway. Yeah. Thanks. Good stuff, Paul. Good stuff.
I mean, you have to kind of justify all these moves you're playing.
Yeah.
And the way you did it, you just ended up not gaining anything.
I've used 3 moves, 1, 2, 3, just to exchange off the knight on C6.
I mean, at the very least, you should
double
the pawns
double
on
pawns.
C6.
Yeah.
But you're given the 2 bishops.
Yeah.
And more space.
And now this is a disaster move. I should have doubled the pawns.
Yes.
And it would be like a previous game without F4. So maybe B3 here to develop the bishop B2. It wouldn't be that bad.
Or maybe D3 is just simpler. I don't know.
But it's important not to allow what I did allow. Unfortunately, after rook e1, I've just allowed knight d4, and black's better now. Black's better after this, gaining a tempo on the queen. The knight's central attacking c2. It's difficult to evict that knight because of the silly knight on c3 here. So this is a very, very nice move for black to play, isn't it?
I think just you really want to play queen d1 and knight e2 fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Just say, okay, he's got to be just a bit worse.
Yeah.
But let's carry on with the game.
Yeah, I make things a bit worse now. Queen d3, so he's potentially got bishop f5s anytime soon. And now I try and use this diagonal, so b4, try and get some activity. But it didn't quite help the situation, so I took on c5 and played bishop b2. And he just attacks my queen.
Is bishop a3 a move? No, it isn't, because it's bishop f5. No, it doesn't work, it's bishop f5.
Yeah, bishop f5, this is horrible stuff.
Yes.
Oh dear, oh dear. So yeah,
but I think there comes to a point again where you have to say, okay, I've messed this up,
yes,
and play queen d1 rather than trying to continue to mix it up.
Yeah.
I thought queen d1 is a kind of admission of defeat, but you can,
Yeah, I think I had the idea of sacking the exchange to get my queen, near his king. In a previous video, I talked about, using resources around the opponent's king. On a previous, analysis of a game, from last week. But there's a penalty to trying to use your best resort. Sometimes they can be a subject to tempo gains. So the queen's a bit exposed here. But I thought instead of just queen g3 immediately or going for that immediately, I thought queen e3 is quite interesting with the idea of queen f4.
Yeah, there's something in the 7 Deadly Sins by Rowson where he had a game against Hodgson, and he said that Hodgson said he was disappointed to see this move because it was an admission that Rowson accepted that he was worse.
Oh, right.
Which I think you have to do sometimes. I do it. When I'm worse, I think, okay, right, I've done something wrong here, but now I'm going to try and regroup, rather than carrying on charging forward into...
So you can make things worse and worse if you don't realise you're worse and just accept that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sometimes you have to admit you've made a mistake and just make the best of what you've got.
But it's too late now, I think, for me. I think this is gone, this position, because I can't really defend c2. It's pretty horrendous position, isn't it, at the moment? Bishop a7 is black's just got a dominating hold on the position here. I
mean, there's a threat to win the exchange, and there's 3 pieces, and you can't move.
Yeah,
you haven't got enough time to move them all away.
And there's numerous other pins on the horizon. There's potential threats that need to be taken account of. Although f6 surprised me at the time. After queen f4, I was very surprised by f6. I wondered what this was all about at the time. I just didn't see it, to be honest. The threats coming up. I mean, would you consider f6 here with black? It seems it's a sharp but brilliant move actually to exploit the queen situation.
Well, I think the thing is, your queen's attacking the bishop, which is, therefore the knight on d4 is defending the bishop on f5.
Yeah, so you can't play knight c2 at the moment. So it is logical to try and get the queen off f4.
Yes, so play f6 to be followed by
yes.
g5.
Yes, it's computer-like, but it does the job. So my queen's no longer on d4, so he's free to win the exchange. And I was hoping for that. I thought, here, optimistically, I thought, well, queen g3, I sack the exchange. I thought, so what? Surely he's not just going to go for the exchange, because then I might have, you know, h4. And, you know, I thought, so what? You know, I've got this diagonal, and I was sort of optimistic here even. You know, if this was going to be the case.
It doesn't look like very much to me.
But, you know, it would be much better than the game. But unfortunately, to my horror, he traps my queen, bishop b8, trapping the queen.
But I think you should have probably played queen takes d4.
Yeah, I just didn't see even bishop b8. I was half asleep, I think. I was a bit shocked by all this f6 and then g5. So queen takes d4 here.
I mean,
yeah,
you're
probably
losing, but you've got 2 pieces for the queen.
Yeah. Queen d4 is actually objectively one of the best moves. Oh, queen g3 is mentioned as well, but with the idea of hg3, not the way I played it. So queen d4, no, it's all pretty miserable.
But it becomes a bit of fun to play for white. More than before. You can, you know, enjoy yourself a bit. Try and move your knights around in some way. There's really not much, but
yeah. It's horrendous though. I think this is one of my worst games of this season. Actually, getting my queen trap before move 20 is not particularly hot. Anyway, so knight takes d4. He takes now my best move apparently. Well, I played knight takes. Well, it's all pretty miserable, but he carries on quite incisively now in this position. Not retreating his bishop, just playing bishop takes f2. Very good move.
If you didn't have bishop takes f2, you would have some play, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because I'll be getting another pawn if the bishop moved back.
Take on d5.
Yeah, because then that queen takes. There's knight e7. Yeah, and the bishop and the 2 knights are very well placed here, aren't they? So that would be good fun. In fact, the engine's giving this as 0.28 to black. This position,
which is not very much.
It's not much at all, is it? So this, unfortunately for me, bishop f2 exists, and he played it. A very good tactical shot to further expose the king, and he breaks down a lot of my piece coordination because of my king issues.
Well, he just wins a pawn as well.
Yeah, he's won a pawn. He's winning another pawn now. Now that knight doesn't have to be defended. I play knight takes d5, so if it takes, there's knight e7.
I'm not sure. Yeah, and your king's exposed as well.
But my king is unfortunately it is gone because his queen is running rampant, winning lots of pawns now. So he plays king h8 though first. It's the position's gone really. It was a little bit amusing how the king was cornered soon, but not my best game. There was a little cheaper at the end. If he had played, I think, rook d2, that I thought there was going to be knight g6, but apparently not. I thought rook e8 was on the cards.
You can just take it.
No, actually you can just take it and king h7. Even that is not working, is it? There's no trap or anything here. So it was actually just hopelessly lost now, clearly, without too many even cheapos. So I ended up, he plays this to win the rook. If I took, then he's got queen e1 check, picking up the rook. I'll take here, he's got that. So not my best ever performance, I've got to say, but I don't know. So I'm posting these horrendous losses on YouTube. I know. But I think it's got to be done. It happened. I can't deny it. Yeah, it wasn't a bad dream. In fact, this game did happen. Unfortunately, you've sometimes had disaster games, haven't you, Paul? But you just don't. Okay, it happens occasionally to everyone, surely. Yeah.
I don't lose that often. I generally tend to fight back when I've got a lost position.
I know, but you've got a very high rating, haven't you? You've got about 210, aren't you? You're about 210 ETF. Okay, I got crushed here. Oh dear, has to be said. So I don't know if there's anything instructive here. It's just the queen seems to be a subject of all of these tempo games. Unfortunately, I couldn't even offer the exchange. He was actually going to win my queen, not winning the exchange, which is a real downer. From an engine point of view, let's just quickly check this point about knight takes c2. See, look, the evaluation drops. There might even be knight g5 apparently. What's going on here? Knight takes d5. That's dangerous now because look, the queen can't take here because of queen g5. He's got bishop f2 as one of his best moves. So that you know, that's more murky than the game. It's just winning the queen. Totally incisive play here. So
yes, simple play.
But here, this is a great move. Bishop takes f2. What the strongest move in the position. Queen b6 is also strong. Immediately, just queen b6,
which is the same kind of thing, but not quite as good.
Yeah. So bishop to f2, for very incisive play by my opponent. So I applaud that. And yeah, I mean, I still blame the chicken kebab myself. Do you not think if you eat a heavy meal before a game, do you often find you do lose more when you had some bad time before the game? Your digestion system's like catching up.
I don't eat chicken kebabs. So no.
You're a vegetarian, aren't you?
But I mean, yeah. I mean, preparation is the. I mean, eating the right food, getting the right amount of sleep.
Yeah.
Not playing blitz all night beforehand.
I didn't play blitz. No, I have been.
I'm not saying you were, but just generally.
No, but often I do. I was just saying. But on this occasion, no, I can't blame the blitz.
These things all help.
Yeah, yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. But there might be something instructive for you there. So don't play like this. This is how not to play. Comments or questions on YouTube. Okay. Thanks very much.